Mm-mm.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin.
All right, I'm going to have to edit that and shorten that right in the beginning.
Wait, was that too long?
What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani, and this is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin. Is that better?
You're slow.
It's too slow? That was too slow. You literally
Yeah,
said
man.
Reggie Steele
Say it
spit.
the second I'm done. What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
Welcome to Spitballin. Is that
This is
better?
yeah, that's good, Reg.
That
This
was,
is our podcast.
dude, I know. But see, the problem is, for me, that was too quick. I feel like it's like, I'm Sal Kalani, and this is Reggie Steele. Welcome to Spitballin. I wanted to be like, I'm Sal Kalani, this is Reggie Steele, and welcome to Spitballin. Like, and welcome to Spitballin.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's our first episode. This is our first episode, everybody. Our first podcast. Sal and I have known each other for years, and we've talked about a bunch of different things. And finally, we are here.
We're just like talking. Every time we talk on the phone, it's good time. So we figured let's do a podcast and just record it.
And plus, the rest of the world is doing a podcast. Why shouldn't we? Right?
Yeah, it's the thing to do nowadays.
It is.
Well, hopefully it works on here. I think right after we do the intro, we need to get a song now, like a 20-second song.
Oh yeah, dude, and you play the guitar, so you could easily come up with
dude.
No. Well, I mean, for those who don't know, some people know.
Do we go guitar? Do we go with the guitar?
Well, the thing is, if we go with the guitar and we go with you, it's gonna be it's gonna be over the top and
spitball in.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be over the top, and someone at some point will kick over a speaker and an amp and jump off a stage.
That's why I think we should probably get somebody else to do it.
Okay, we go. So we're gonna have a spitballing jingle. Welcome.
Maybe like a good 20. I don't know about that.
Welcome to Spitballin.
That could be it. Just like end with someone hawking a loogie.
Yeah, spitballing.
We do it.
That's disgusting. Sorry, folks. We're still trying to figure this
out. Well, Matt Morales did my last one. He did a little guitar. Jasper Red's doing like hip hop now. Maybe we could get him to do us a 20-second beat.
Wait. Jasper Red is doing hip hop? What you mean he's doing?
He's doing some kind of beats. He put it up on Instagram. So.
Oh, he's producing. He's producing his own music.
I don't know what he's doing. He's just making some stuff.
Oh, dude. Maybe he'll do it. Why not? I mean, Matt can sing. We can get Matt to sing. Maybe we get a J Red beat. Oh, dude, how nice would that be?
like a Run DMC Aerosmith crossover.
Oh, dude, why not? Let's go for the gusto. Think about that. This is a J Red production, a J Red beat. Man, I believe. Oh man, Jasper Red, man, that's you went back on that one.
Great comedian. Whenever I think about Jasper from San Francisco.
Yeah, originally from Tennessee. Showed up on the scene, man. This dude was a juggernaut, had his own style, delivery. The voice was distinctive, unique. I mean, one of my favorite jokes of his, and I think I maybe only heard him say it at an open mic. It was funny. I don't even know if he ever took it to the stage, really. But one of my favorite Jasper Red jokes of all the time was what did he say? He said, "Man, the Bible just came out on DVD. Them deleted scenes is a motherfucker." Oh man.
Yeah, dude. So he was really funny. He was working the punchline, I think, within 2 months of getting into town. It was like record breaking.
Really? Was it 2 months?
Yeah, it was
working
like
or just
that. like maybe getting on stage and working a one night or something, but it was quick.
Getting up pretty regular.
But he worked faster than anybody, and yeah, man. Yeah, he was always had a distinct voice.
I remember during that time, what is this? This is early 2000s, right? So this is like 2002, 3, around that time. 1, 2, and 3, maybe somewhere around there. But I just remember during that time, man, I remember it was just a plethora of funny people that just came through, man. I mean, like we could sit here and go through a list of names of people that just showed up and we're just killing it. I remember, I'm gonna go Kevin Shea. I remember Kevin Shea showing up, and this dude came in with a focus and a determination that I was like, I looked at him and I was like, oh man, I gotta step my game up because this dude was showing up at every microphone with a camera, right? With his camera, he'd come in at the open mics, set up his camera in the back, get his 5 minutes, record that joint, break his camera down, and leave. Right? Like I'm sitting there, like you know how it was. We all show up, we hang out, everyone does their 5, and then we like chilling and laughing and kicking it. This dude is like, nah, I gotta. I'm gonna hit the Mock Cafe, and then I'm gonna hit the Java Source, and then I gotta hit the Brainwash. This dude was hitting everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, he was
All
focused. I was like, man, am I having too much fun? I was like, maybe I'm having too much fun. So,
I mean, you definitely, I did feel more like an artist in San Francisco, and then you come down to LA, and it's definitely more like that. Like, get right to it. What can you sell? What can you make money?
right.
That's it.
It's all about marketing, right? Marketing yourself.
Right.
Becoming the actual commodity, right? Like, I mean, that's what we are. We're the commodity. We create a thing out of our head, and hopefully that's something that people want. But LA, I feel like you show up there, and it's like, yo, are you refined? Are you polished? Do you have, okay, you're funny, right? And you can create, but everyone here is funny and can create. So what else do you have? Do you got a script? Can you act? Can you read a teleprompter? Like, what can you do? Can you build something? Right? Can you run fast? Can you jump high? Right? Like it's LA is about business, man. It's about money. So they ain't got time to be.
Yeah. It's like if you created something, you have something to sell, then the people come across.
Right.
I was going to lead right into our next thing here, what I want to talk about, because somebody else who nobody really knew, and he had to create his own little cowboy song. And the gay black rapper Lil Nas X, dude.
Oh man, Lil Nas X. All right, let's talk about it. My man went in deep. Yo, you see what happened with Nike though? Nike has submitted a cease and desist because this dude, he didn't even get Nike's permission. He altered Nike shoes and didn't get their permission, and then sold them as if they had their permission. So this dude made, how many made? He made 666 shoes.
Yes, he did, for $1,000 each.
Yeah. I think it was more than 1,000. I think it was like 12 to 1,500. But either way, this dude made 666 shoes depicting demonic images, right? Sold out in minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you want,
Here we are on the eve of Easter, and demon shoes sold out in minutes. Devil shoes, Lucifer shoes, Beelzebub shoes sold out in minutes. And it would have been seconds, but people had to click. Right? So
all right, well, here. Okay, well, here's another thing. Did you know, a lot of people don't know this, the same company earlier made Jesus shoes and did the exact same thing with the Nike. And instead of a drop of blood, it was a drop of the Jordan River in the sole. So you could be literally like Jesus walking on water, walking on the Jordan.
Wow.
And Nike did not choose to sue them then.
Oh, they didn't. Oh, so they didn't want to. Well, come on, man. You can't see
Jesus, come on, what? Is Jesus okay, but the devil not? What are we doing here?
Hey, man, I'm just saying, if you got Jesus and you got God created both the devil and Jesus, right? So, and he chose his side. He chose Jesus. Come on, man. Mischief, the name of the company was Mischief, right? They made the shoes. They made Jesus shoes with Jordan River water in it, so you can literally be walking on water. Hey man, that's a level of creativity like that right there. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that.
And you don't appreciate the dropping the blood devil shoe the week of Passover? That's great marketing.
That's great marketing. I'm not denying that at all. I mean, the blood is like a drop of blood of like the employees at the company. So I mean, but the drop of blood is from the employees at the company. Mischief. I mean, I'm sure they're nice people, but their blood.
You don't think like it's that's right? Whose blood is it? Whose blood is in this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo, it's like you can't just. I don't want just anybody blood. I mean, like, yo, this is the water from the River Jordan, right? Like that's very specific, and that has some relation, to Jesus and the scripture and Bible and the whole thing. But come on, man, just random people blood. Like, I don't know, at least make it like, a drop of Charles Manson blood if you're gonna go like demonic, right? Like, you gotta get somebody who's bad, right? Like, shouldn't it be someone who's bad blood?
I mean, should he have gotten some blood from people on death row?
I mean, if you want to go all the way in, right? You're going with the blood. Might as well ask for a little drop from some serial killer. But then that might be too weird. People walk around with serial killer blood in their shoes. I mean, I think it's just fun. I think it's fun, the idea of like demonic shoes, but when they possess like real evil, like truly evil in them, that might be just bad luck. You could be setting yourself up.
But here's what I wanted to say, because right after he released this, he said this tweet, and this is why I love it. This is why I love everything about the Lil Nas X coming out with his little video. Okay. He said, I spent my entire teenage years hating myself because of the shit y'all preach would happen to me because I was gay. So I hope you are mad, stay mad, feel the same anger you teach us to have towards ourselves. Bam.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, look, dude, if you're gonna constantly tell people that they're wrong, and that's the response.
Well, no, and no, not that they're wrong, but who they are is wrong.
Like who they were even born. As they're born, you're wrong. And then how is that religious? How's that loving? How's that what God would want? It's fucking stupid.
I agree.
And the whole thing, the devil, it's like, really, dude, is the devil even real? And imagine what if that was a sexy devil girl dancing, doing a lap dance to a guy? No one would have a problem with it. And here's another thing: he kills the devil in the end. People call him a devil worshiper. He kills the devil. This is so stupid.
Oh, he did.
So
I didn't.
Stupid.
I watched the video, but I didn't get that.
Everybody,
that's right. He does. Like, he sits behind him, and But hold
the
up,
whole point is heaven didn't want him because you all said he's gay, and some homophobe wrote in Leviticus 1,000 years ago that was wrong. So now you all told him that. So heaven kicks him out. He goes to hell, kills the devil, takes it over himself. So I love the meaning.
Okay,
yes, I don't know. I don't know. I
mean, come on, Sal. Let's be honest, man. You love that anger shit like that.
I love that hypocrisy, calling out the hypocrisy.
Call out the hypocrisy, but that you wronged me, you did me wrong for so long. Now it's my chance. I'm getting everybody.
I love it. I don't even like the song, but I just love Lil Nas X's message.
Well, you know me in that regard. You know me, I'm always like this. I'm like, there's this cheek, and then I turn the other cheek because I'm like, yo, you can't. I'm like, the thing is, from my perspective, I get it, right? He felt like everything that was put on him, right, made him feel a certain way about himself. And I understand that. A lot of people are dealing with that every day. That's the society we live in. People bombarded all the time with images about what and who and how they should be, right? And so I get it that you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I no longer hate myself based on how you made me feel about myself, right?
Right.
My thing is, I'm like, yo, forget what anybody else thinks. Who cares what society says? Who cares what the church and preachers and the old guy in the neighborhood and whoever, even if your parents have some crazy mixed up views, like, I'm about finding that strength to just be like, yo, look, that's your perspective. I can't live my life for you. And I came to that conclusion personally, like somewhere my late teens. It was like literally like my freshman year, senior year, maybe somewhere between 16 and 19. I had this epiphany where I was like, yo, man, I can't be nobody else. I gotta be me. Love it or hate it. Take it or leave it. Like me or not. And you can ask any of my friends and they'll tell you in a heartbeat. My boy AJ said recently, he said, Reg, you are the most, he said, of all the people I know, you are the most you all the time. Right? He's like, you have always just been you, even, good or bad. Right? And I embrace that, man. I do, because maybe like Lil Nas X, maybe at some point I did feel like, not even maybe, at some point I did feel like I needed to like live up to some image that people liked or some expectation of other people. and it's just hard. It's hard, but
Right.
I get it. I get it.
I
get
mean,
it.
you
And
know,
different
it's
strokes for different folks.
yeah, and and both of us being straight men still probably can't relate to what he had to go through. But you're right.
Yeah, I mean, but hold on, he's black and gay,
Yeah, that's tough. I
right?
mean,
That's a double whammy. I got you.
yeah,
I can relate on that. I can relate on that black shit. Like, yeah, I get it. Growing up in Alabama,
right,
right? And
right.
then learning history. Even now, every time I hear something or learn something, I'm like, yo, why we should be crazier. Right? Like I feel like every time I hear something, systemic racism, or banks not giving loans, and then realtors not showing people houses in certain neighborhoods, right? Like the whole redlining thing, and then jobs and education and holding people back and voter suppression. Like, you look at everything that this country has done to hold black people back, to keep them from having anything. And black people really at the end are just like, hey man, can't we just all get along? Right?
They're just cool. Like, yeah, they're cool about it. It's like they're just trying to be cool.
We're just like, yo, man, like, really, do you got to go to this extreme all the time for everything? Can we just get a fair shake? Like, we need to take it. And the killing part is, we're not even taking up arms. I feel like every time I see something about stuff that happens, I'm just like, yo, black people need to go get guns. I think Dave Chappelle said it in his set, right? Or one of his recent specials. He's like, you know what we need to do? And everyone's like, vote. He was like, no, register to get a gun. If you get a gun, it'll change all the law. And it would. Like, there's a whole segment of the world. There's a whole segment of the world that thinks that we want some race war. It's like, nah, man, are you crazy? Based on numbers alone, you got to be stupid. We only make up 12 to 13% of the population. It ain't that many of us. If it's 100 people, there's 12 of us. And we want to start a race war? Get the fuck out of here. Like, nah, man, we just like, yo, it's like, just stop being a dick.
Right. The one constant I feel is the white man's fear of the black man. Like Bowling for Columbine, what's his name, said that in you go through it. And people were always afraid, like they even say the NRA and the KKK, it all started together in the late 1800s, after the Civil War. And then it goes into Jim Crow. And man, it's just fear. I don't know. Like, whenever there's a mass shooting, everybody goes and buys guns because they're afraid they're going to take their guns away. It's so stupid.
Did you just hear about that? Like, there were some laws that just passed, some gun laws after another mass shooting. Obviously, they finally passed a couple bills, and everyone went gun crazy. Like, the percentage of what's it called? When they register for the guns, the background checks, like, just shot through the roof. Roof. Oh, well, let me finish this one thought. So after everything that black people experience, right? I'm talking about Lil Nas X. Like, it's hard enough to be black with everything else, and then be gay, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so being black and gay and dealing with all the bullshit, I think you make some devil shoes. I think you make some,
I get it. That's funny.
I get it.
I think you make some devil shoes.
I think you make some devil shoes, put some blood in them, and then you just make everybody upset.
No, that's true, man. And so hey, play that little link if you can. Listen to this preacher going off on Lil Nas X.
Okay.
I didn't even know who Lil Nas X was. Little thug, whoever he, I had no idea who he was. We was riding this morning. Hudson said, well, what made him famous? I said, well, he said, he was that horses song. Got my horses and whatever that song. I was like, man, that song's got a cool beat. I'll never be able to listen to it again. Bunch of devil worshiping, wicked nonsense. Pentagram wearing on your Nike tennis shoe 666. You think I'm gonna stand for that? You've lost your mind. You tell Lil Nas X I said so. Bunch of Satanism, bunch of wickedness, bunch of devilism, bunch of demonism, bunch of psychotic wickedness.
Devil worshiping 666. Pentagram.
That. He practiced that in the mirror. Devil worshiping pentagram 6. Oh shit! All right, hold up. Devil worshiping shit. Okay,
it's like an auctioneer.
He's an auctioneer. Devil worshiping what do you say? Pentagram 666. Devil worshiping pentagram 666. Nike shoes. Lil Nas X. I didn't even know who this thug was. Oh, he a thug now. Lil Nas X is a thug.
Yeah, exactly. How quickly they change it. And the funniest thing is they put there was a screen of his picture of his face with his red contacts holding the shoe. And they're all like in the church. It's like, you're advertising. You're helping the backlash. You're helping them blow up even more.
I just wish that I wish they would have panned the crowd and we could have seen that one person in the back, like, ooh, I want to get some of them shoes. Right? Like, you see that one person in the back, like, dang, because they still Nikes, right? They still Nikes, and people love Nikes. They're like, ooh, that black on black with that black with the red. Ooh, he got Luke. Was it Luke 10:18 on the shoe?
Yeah.
Satan fell.
That's what I think. He did put a Bible
like
verse on it.
He did. He put Luke 10:18, which it says Satan fell from heaven like a lightning bolt. Right? Like I guess that's how quickly they wanted to get him out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that was I saw another video. I saw another religious video of a guy going in on the Lil Nas X 666, demonic pentagram Luke 10:18 shoe. Same thing, it's always the same thing. It's somebody in a place talking about something that they don't know.
And yeah, people cheering in the crowd. I was like, dude, that's just hate. That's just everyone gathering their hate together in a loud voice and trying to point it at somebody. It's so stupid. And then meanwhile, they got gay kids at home who are fucking scared to tell them.
Exactly. Or worse, they trying to send some kid to a camp to like teach them to like reform them. Right.
Yeah.
So whack, yo. Like, it's so crazy to me that the people who think that that's like an option, right? Like,
yeah,
well, you have a choice to be straight or gay. Like, no. Did you make a decision to be straight? Did you have a point where you're like, you're in third grade, right? You look around, you're like, there's boys and there's girls. I think I'm gonna like the girls. Right? Like, no, it doesn't happen that way, right? That's just dumb. It's dumb. And then try to send somebody to a place to get reformed. I'm like, oh, that's crazy, dude. The whole look. I mean, if we start on religion, I'll be honest. I grew up in the church, right? Like, I went to church every Sunday.
I grew up Catholic, and you grew up Baptist, right?
And then I converted to Catholicism.
Yeah,
for about 2 or 3 years.
That long?
And it was that long because it took me a moment to go back, right? Because once you get there, like I got there, and then I was still in middle school. Well, I went to Catholic middle school, and then.
Tell about everybody why you converted to Catholicism.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
In junior high.
Okay, so first off, let's just get into it. So I grew up Baptist, right? And we went to church every Sunday. We go to church for like it was at least two and a half hours. I mean, with Bible, with Sunday school, and then with service and the whole shebang. And this is church in the South, man. I went to Catholic middle school. And we would go to mass because I played basketball. So on games when we played on Sunday, we had to go to mass before the game. Hey, man, mass was 50, not even 55. I think it wasn't even 51. It was 50 minutes. It was less than an hour. So wait, and once I discovered, I was like, hold up. I was like, what God do the Catholics worship? I'm like, who's that God?
He's a very efficient God.
Exactly. I was like, who's the Catholic God versus the Baptist God, right? Like the Baptist God, he required at least 2.5 hours every Sunday, right? And you got to dress up. It's got to be a full suit and tie, the whole thing. And I was like, well, who's the Catholic God? And they was like, oh, it's the same dude. I was like, I'm out.
It's the same dude.
I was out. I straight up converted to Catholicism. My mom was like, babe, you ain't gonna be going to church with me? No. For 2.5 hours.
It's crazy. She was cool with that. And while you were still in junior high,
she didn't like it at first. She didn't like it. She, but I was like, nah, Ma, I want to convert. I didn't explain to her why. I wanted to convert. So I converted. And
did you have to take classes and shit?
Yeah, I take classes. The only thing I didn't do was I never took my final communion. Right, like the final communion was gonna be the thing that was gonna put me over the top.
First communion, right? Bro. First, not final.
First communion, not final. First communion. Yeah, I never did my first communion, and I was supposed to go to like do my first communion and confessional, right? Like that was gonna be the thing, and I was like, I ain't like the idea of going into a box and telling some dude what I supposed to have done wrong, right? Like that was bogus to me. I was like, who are you? No, that was one thing that got me out. The other thing that got me out was there was a lot of exercise with like the standing and kneeling, right? Up and down all the time. And the level of guilt, right? Like there was so much guilt.
They spread that out.
Guilt in the this much guilt in the Catholic Church. I was like, gee, I was only there for a short while. I was starting to feel bad about myself. I was like, gee, I can't do nothing over here. I was like, I'm out.
That's
so
hilarious.
I went back to the Baptist church. Yeah, man. It's
funny. It's like,
so
I was gonna say, it's funny. Like we both fit like almost like a stereotype, like Black Baptist in Birmingham, and then I'm the Italian Catholic from Cleveland.
yeah. And we both in California. We both got the hell out of Dodge.
It's funny because when I went to Catholic church, and it was 55 minutes, but I wanted to go to a Black church, a Baptist church, because whenever I'd see it on TV or on the news, and it looked so fun and everyone's singing, and I was like, because man, you're right, Mass is boring as hell, dude. It's boring. So boring, and it's all follows the rules, so but boring. The 2.5 hours, I don't know, man. That's a long time.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Baptist church, I had a greater appreciation for Baptist church after converting to Catholicism and going back, right? Because you're right, the music, once I got to the Catholic church, like I left a church that was like, let me give you an example. It's like, and the walls came tumbling down, right? I left that already. To go to, right? I left that and I went to you
don't like that?
I was sitting there like this. I was sitting like
there were some good ones. I remember and he will raise you up on eagle's wings. They do all have that kind of rhythm, though. You're right.
I was gonna say, what's funny about that? You said they had some good ones. And they will raise you up on eagle's wings, and you will soar through the sky.
That's so funny, dude.
About, man, once
do
I
the boulder one again? Church, how the boulders are coming down? What was that?
No, it said, and the walls of Jericho. And the walls came tumbling down. The walls. Oh, dude, it was like.
So was that okay?
Man. It was nice.
Would that be a song in numerous churches, or was that just your church that had this tune?
I think that's a part of just the. I think that was part of the Baptist church. Like that's the songs that they sang, right? You know what I mean? They had other songs. I mean, but like, dude, we had the big choir. I mean, the big choir.
See, that would be cool. That'd be cool to have a choir. Man. We had an organ. That was it. We had an old lady at the organ. And we will raise you up
on eagle wings.
There you are.
Well, the other thing that I appreciated after leaving the Catholic Church was how the message was delivered, right? Because the thing at the Catholic Church is like you go through all this stuff and they talk about a bunch of stuff, and then they finally get to the message, which is only like maybe 10 to 15 minutes of like, and we must look after each other as people and take care. Look to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I support you. Whatever, right? Dude, at the Baptist church, man, I had Pastor Smith. Man, this dude, he would get so excited. He gets so into it. Just watch. It was like entertaining, right? He would get going, and I'm sitting there like, ooh, like you start getting goosebumps and get excited because he like, and then he came over. Look to your neighbor, look to your other neighbor, and you say neighbor, I say yeah. I said neighbor, you say yeah. Like it was just so exciting, man. I was in that joint like yeah. I used to go home and I would pretend to be a preacher. Like seriously, I would go home and pretend to be a preacher. My mom would get all excited and be like, "Oh, my baby gonna be a preacher one day." Oh. It was fun, man. Catholic church was boring, even though it was short. The best thing Catholic church got for it is 50 minutes. Outside of that, the level of guilt and the bad.
Well, you also could get a little sip. You could also get a little sip of wine in Catholic church.
A little sip of wine.
Nice. Yeah.
But you can't do that now with COVID. You can't be just wiping the cup off ain't gonna be enough.
Just wiping the cup off.
Just wiping the cup off ain't gonna be enough. I'm like, yo, man, that cup is still dirty from the 8 people before me.
Would you?
that rag is still dirty.
I give you the covenant of COVID.
Yeah, exactly. whole congregation sick with COVID from one cup. Everybody.
No, that's true. You don't
man.
want I remember when I got my first communion, my old grandpa, Sicilian grandfather, didn't speak any English. And then he had to go up there with us. And then when they do the wine, they give him the wine and he started drinking it and he didn't want to give it back. He started pulling the goblet back.
He's like, hold on, I ain't done yet. Like, it's supposed to be a sip. It's a sip. You like, hold on.
He's like, it's the blood of Christ. He's like, I want all the blood of Christ.
He's like, Father, you know my sins. He's like, I told you my sins. I need this drink. I need this drink. Yo, man, how did you like confession? I never did it.
That's funny. I mean, whatever. Like, we were doing it since I was like in second grade or whatever. So like, well, there was two. Well, like, it's funny, like the way they show all the time in movies and stuff with the screen behind them. Like, we wouldn't even do that one. Mostly, we would do it like you sit there right in front of them and they're just looking at you. And like, all right, tell me what you did wrong.
Oh, wait. So you didn't even sit in a booth? Like, you were sitting there looking at this dude in his eyes and he's looking at you?
Yeah, they would call it
even
an open confession or something. Yeah. And we would, and then we do that one a lot. But like, when you're a kid, you didn't do much. I punched my sister, or I called this kid a name, and then, okay, here's your 10 Hail Marys, and then you're done.
So he'd be like, you'd be like, I punched my sister, and he'd be like, well, Sal, you know that we're not supposed to hit our siblings.
They would just sit there like, okay.
Okay.
They wouldn't even try to help. They're just like, yeah.
You wouldn't even try to help. That's terrible. Like,
no, they're like, yo, pray. Pray is help. God helps you, not him.
Dude, how bad is that? You literally sit there in front of a dude, you tell him this thing, and then he doesn't even say, well, try to be a better person. We try to walk.
Maybe he did. I don't remember. Maybe.
Okay. I'm like,
maybe he was like, that doesn't follow.
Dude, can you imagine just sitting there, you spill your guts to this guy? I did this and I did that and I feel awful and it's the worst thing ever. And he's sitting there like this. Say 10 Hail Marys. Thank you. Like,
sometimes if there's a lot of people and they gotta get through the whole class, they might cut him short.
He's sitting there listening like this. He's listening to your sins like this. Okay, what else? You kicked the dog? Okay, don't. 2 Hail Marys. Next.
Let's keep it going. I will say one of the toughest things I had to do one time in 5th grade, I got in a fight on the playground, right? Like, we were playing football and I pushed this kid. I was covering him really tough, giving tough coverage, playing defensive back on this kid. And he didn't like it and pushed me back, and we just started wrestling and grabbing and swinging. And the lunch lady pulls us apart, right? And she goes, I'm sick of these fights. I'm bringing you both in. So she's bringing us in, and I'm scared. Like, I never got in trouble before. So I say to this other kid, he was an older kid, I went after the older kids, no problem.
Hey, you gotta let them know, Sal. Let them know.
Let them know. I'm Neon Dion out here. So, exactly. So then I'm like, oh, what do you think's gonna happen? And he's like, probably nothing. She'll just probably tell us not to do it again and send us back. So then we go to the principal. Now, our principal was an ex-nun, dude. All right, and she was strict. Oh, wow. Nobody liked her. Like, garbage pail kids were out. Some kid got busted with garbage pail kids. She took them all. They were banned from the school. So we go in.
An ex-nun? Come on, man. I mean, ex-nuns, that's like being in a relationship with God and then breaking up, right? Like being God's girlfriend.
And then taking it out on the students at the school.
And then taking it out. Yeah, he's like, it didn't work out. The relationship didn't work out. And so now, man, put the garbage pail kids thing. Garbage pail. I'll show you some garbage.
So they bring us to her, and the lunch lady goes, she goes, and I don't know which one said it, but one asked what you were going to do, and the other one said nothing, just send him back out there. And I was like, oh, fuck.
She overheard you guys.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm like, it wasn't me, but it didn't matter. And then the ex-nun heard that, and she's like, oh, I'm not going to do anything, huh? She's like, all right, I want you to write a letter and say what you did was wrong in the eyes of Jesus, and I want both of your parents to sign it, which, you know, getting the old man to sign something, that's scary, right? So,
Right.
so that I go to
Can
class.
I interject?
Yeah,
Can I
go
interject
ahead.
here real quickly? I just think that it's funny that you guys were kids, and even at that point, they were like, "Something's wrong. Write a letter." Because you know, right now, that's what it is. When people get upset, they're like, "You know what? I can't believe this is a travesty. I'm gonna write a letter."
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that it started that early.
That's
Like,
right.
that's great.
I want to write a
Write a
letter.
letter.
So,
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so I go back to class, and then I get a message over the speaker. Or no, the principal shows up at the door of the class, and like, "Can I speak to Sal?" And everyone's like, "Ooh!" And I never got in trouble. So I go up to her, and she's like, "Where's the letter?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought you wanted it tomorrow." She's like, "No, I want it signed by both your parents tomorrow. I want it right now." So I had to sit there and write this letter while she stood over my shoulder and watched what I wrote and saying why I was wrong and getting a fight in the eyes of Jesus. And then I had to get both my parents to sign it. Oh, it sucked, bro. It sucked.
You keep it real? Did you keep it real? Did you say, in the sight of Jesus, he ain't worried about my fighting. He got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
So Jesus don't care about my he's ain't worried about two kids fighting on a football field.
I know, right, dude?
Like, come on, man. I feel like if you went to Jesus with that, like, Jesus, me and this kid got into a fight, he'd be like, all right, say one Hail Mary. Next.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, "You playing football?
Like,
oh, you're covering them? Okay."
yeah, like, okay, you're playing aggressive. That's fine. That's fine. Dude, that's
I guess
funny.
I do
But
see
that goes
where
to
the
show,
guilt could come from.
yeah, think about
Yeah.
that. You got to write a letter why it's wrong in the sight of Jesus. Jeez, and then take it home and have your parents sign it. You know, your parents sign that shit begrudgingly. They're like, what?
Oh yeah.
Two kids playing a sport,
Well, no,
got
I mean,
aggressive.
no, I remember my mom telling me like it was wrong because she's like looking at the letter. She's like, "Look, it's wrong because that's not what Jesus did. Look what you wrote." I'm like, "I had to write that. The nun was right over my back."
The nun was breathing down my neck, Mom. You know, she broke up with God. What you expect?
And I remember my dad didn't really care as much. I was scared because he came home from work, but like to tell him, but the kid was kind of like I played baseball with the kid before, and he's kind of a punk, and my dad knew, so he didn't care.
Oh yeah, your dad was probably like, he got what he deserved, right? Like, yeah, this kid, he's kind of, you know, back then, you know, punk was another word for asshole. Like,
Yeah,
this kid's he's a punk. He's a punk.
Yeah,
you punch him in the face.
Punk.
No,
we didn't. We weren't at that level, bro. We were just
okay.
You know,
just
fifth grade. I don't know.
Yeah, like you just said, you guys were wrestling. That's probably the most country I ever heard you sound. You said we get to a tussle, we start wrestling.
We start wrestling.
Wrestling.
We're just frolicking in the football field.
And then we start wrestling.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
all right, well, let's talk about
man.
something later, Reg. I wanted to talk about a movie I saw and you're a big fan of. And you're a big fan.
Wait, you said a big fan of
superheroes, not of the movie specifically.
Okay,
You're right. Okay, because yeah, there's this little Marvel shirt. Right? I mean, it's funny. I didn't know you were. I don't know. I realized you were such a little comic book nerd. Like, when did that start, dude?
Oh man, I've been reading comic books since I was a kid. I grew up. I loved G.I. Joe growing up. Right, loved the cartoon. So I watched G.I. Joe, and then one day I was at the store. I loved it, and then and honestly, G.I. Joe probably helped mold me in some way. Because remember at the end of the show, it was always like, and make sure like they had a little PSA, right?
Yeah, the more you know,
right?
No. For G.I. Joe, real American hero. Yeah, what was that? I know the Ninja Turtles did it too.
Yeah, it was
oh man,
it wasn't more, but it was something along those lines. But they had like, some little PSA of like, if you're with a friend and they get stuck, or
that's half the battle.
That's half the battle.
That's
dude,
what
half the battle. Loved half the battle at the end. I got entertained for 19 minutes, and then a minute at the end, I got to hear about how to help out or be a good person and be kind to others and stuff like that. I was like, and that's half the battle. Loved it. Then one day I was at the store. And I saw like a comic book, like I didn't go to like a it wasn't like a library or anything. It's just like, you know how at the grocery store they may have like the little stand, right? The little stand with the books in it. And so I saw one, and once I saw the comic book, I got the comic book, and I used to draw. You know, I love to draw, so I would.
I like to draw too.
Yeah,
That's funny.
so I would draw the characters, and I'll read the comic books, and then once I got exposed to that, then that just transitioned into other comics. But the thing was is that I wasn't really into like I wasn't really into the storylines as much, right? Like it wasn't like I was reading them out of the excitement of like what's going to happen next. I was watching cartoons all the time, right? For me, it was really just about I used to try to find the battle comics. Like at home right now in Birmingham, I have boxes full of Wolverine versus the Hulk. You know, Daredevil versus Spider-Man. Like I would find all the battle comics. Those are the ones I loved, because then it was like, yo, what happens? You know, everyone always has a question. What happens if Batman and Superman fight each other? Which for me, I'm kind of like, come on, that's not really real. I know you're a Batman fan, but
the first thing I would collect was Batman, but that wasn't until high school. But yeah, I really got into Batman.
Yeah, so that was it, man. Like loving to draw, watching cartoons, wanting to create the characters, and also, look, let's be honest, man. When I was a kid, I had like a little superhero complex. Like I wanted to, like, you know, I wanted to be an actual superhero, right? In a lightweight kind of way, like help people, be strong, right? Like be, you know, able to do things that other people couldn't do. So,
and who was your favorite superhero
growing up? Oh, it was the Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hulk. I mean, watching the show, and then, you know, being a kid with a little bit of angst or some anger from wherever that, I don't know where it came from. Went to private middle school, went to good schools. My mom took care of me. I had my own bedroom. I was an only child, had my own bedroom, had a basketball goal in the backyard, had a dog, got a car at 16, like literally had everything you needed to be happy, and was like,
were you pissed you didn't have a pops?
Nah, because maybe you don't know this, but my dad, which is a long story, but my dad died when I was in third grade. He died from lung cancer and liver cancer. So for me as a kid, my mom and dad got separated, right? Which was funny because they got separated, and then he moved out, but he lived around the corner. And so he would come over and have dinner with us, and he like take care of the yard and like cut the grass and clean up behind the dog and stuff like that. So he was around. I used to go riding around, like hang out with him and stuff. But then he died in third grade. So for me, it wasn't that I didn't have a dad. It was like my dad died, right? So I didn't have that same thing.
And that was your mom's. That was your mom's wife or
husband. That's my mom's. Yeah, that's my mom's husband, Walter.
Okay.
So I didn't have that same angst as far as like I got a dad who's not here and he doesn't care and he's not around. I didn't have any of that stuff. I just like, yo, my dad died, so that's why I don't have a dad. Which explains.
Didn't that piss you off though?
Nah, not even.
Well, why are you pissed then? You had to have been pissed from something.
Well, that's the thing. It was like I just had a short temper as a kid, man. I had a short temper, and I just wanted, it was like, I don't know where it came from, but I had a short temper, and the idea of the Hulk, right? I had the short temper, but I was always trying to not have a short temper. So to have a guy that was like,
just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. A guy who's like, yo, don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Like, I'm telling you, please leave me alone. I don't want to get angry. Right. Like that was the Hulk. David Banner was always like, Bruce Banner, right? Not David, that's a singer, but Bruce Banner was always like, just leave me alone, guys. Can I just do my thing? Like I can be odd and I can be a scientist and I can work on my stuff. Like just let me be. And then people are like, yeah, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna do anything. When you go, he's like, don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. And so there was this idea of this guy who was kind of meek, nice, easygoing, right? Kind of genteel in a certain way. But then if you push him, then he can turn into the biggest monster you've ever seen. So I love the dichotomy of being like this almost kind of small and a guy who's like trying not to be like he doesn't want to be a part. He's not trying to be the center of attention. He's not trying to be the man. He's like, I'm just trying to live a simple life. Like I just want to do my thing and have a good time. And then there's other people who come in and push his buttons. And then he goes, all right, this what you want to do. You don't, I'm telling you, don't do this. And then, so that appealed to me. And then he turns into the Hulk and and then it's like, then everyone's like, what have I
Should have
done?
listened.
I should have listened.
I
And
think
so
it was David Banner and the Lou Ferrigno show. I think they changed his name.
Oh, they changed.
Did you watch that?
Banner. I did.
I used to watch it. It was good. Remember the
man.
movie when he died?
No.
He like fell out
died?
of a plane. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk dies or something it's called. They did
No
like
way.
a TV movie after the show.
Dude, you just spoiled that. Like I didn't even know Hulk died.
I think that's what it's called. I think the Incredible Hulk dies.
It's called The Death of Hulk. I never knew that. Dude, you really
But
just
then he came
shattered
back
my
to
whole
life
world.
or something.
You just shattered my whole world, dude. Like, I can't believe.
I remember seeing it as a kid. He falls out of a plane. Which would not kill him now. The real Hulk.
Well, no, see, this is the thing, though. This is the beautiful thing about the Hulk, that even if David Banner fell out of a plane, before he would hit the ground, the Hulk would come out and save him. Because the Hulk is like, Hulk no die, right?
Well, but he was the Hulk when he fell out and he died. So the TV they didn't have it down right. You know,
they didn't have it down right. They didn't have it down. That was the fake Hulk. That wasn't the real Hulk. So yeah, man, I love the Hulk. I love the Hulk.
Okay, so okay, go ahead. I was going to say, about...
I'll just finish this. I love the Hulk growing up because I think he represented what I was like, kind of who I was and what I was trying to be, right? Like I worked out a lot and I tried to be in good shape and all this kind of stuff. And I was I wanted to be a nice guy, but if I got angry, then I got really angry. But then as I got older, which is funny, my hero changed, right? Like I still like the Hulk, but now, dude, I love, and this, I got a whole idea behind this, but I love Thor, right? I love Thor. I love Thor because think about it, man. Thor is a god who's like, yeah, I'll hang out with y'all. Right? Like, I'll come down here to Earth and hang out with you.
It is like, funny that he's in the Marvel universe. You're like, oh, let's just put a god in there now.
Yeah. But he's got a whole god world that he has to deal with, the 9 realms, right? You know, Jotunheim and, you know, all the other places where you got to deal with giants and other god level villains. But I think it's just funny. He comes down to hang out with the Avengers and like, yeah, I'll hang out with you guys. Like, you guys are regular dudes.
It's funny, you like the muscle guys.
Yeah, but I didn't like the Masters of the Universe. I enjoyed the cartoon.
You didn't like He-Man? I loved He-Man, dude. He was cool.
He was cool, but you know, it's just
Battle Cat and Skeletor.
Yeah,
no, that's a fantasy. Yeah, no, that was Thundercats. That's Thundercats.
Oh, that's Thundercats. Oh, you're right.
That's the little guy. Yeah, Snarf.
Yeah, Snarf. That's Battle Cats.
What's his name? Orko was the one. He was the little wizard guy who float in He-Man.
Oh yeah, with the little. Who's the little hat and little red hat.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
So I like Batman because you know I like the smart, brooding, looking for justice type.
Of course, and you also like that he's and we've talked about this, but you like that he's a regular guy.
He's a real person, right? And I think that's
a real
cool.
Person.
Yeah, it makes it more realistic.
And he's got his doohickeys and his gadgets.
I will say the 2 coolest superheroes, which I think box office proves this, is Batman and Spider-Man. And my theory is because both they're great people that everyone can relate to, the high school kid, and well, maybe not a rich millionaire, but just a man. And then they both have the best villains, the best rogues gallery.
Yeah. I got to give it up for Batman villains. They're kind of corny when you look at the names of them. The Riddler, the Penguin.
Yeah, but 2 of them got Oscars, baby.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think Bane was cool.
Bane was really cool. So Bane, I collected all the Nightfall comics. There's the only one I really got into where Bane broke Batman's back and he studied him. And then the first time they did Bane in that Arnold Schwarzenegger one was horrible. And then they redid them in the Christopher Nolan ones are just amazing movies.
Oh yeah, those are no one can touch those. Those are classics. And then Heath Ledger's Joker, obviously. Come on, man. That's the pinnacle, right? That's the creme de la creme. Everyone's trying to achieve that level. But he did it. He did it great. He did. Yeah. He played the Joker so well that afterwards he had to die, Like it was like,
Yeah,
I
well,
can't do
yeah, I
that
mean, it
anymore.
cost him his life. Like he was taking like I thought he was taking like sleeping pills or whatever or stuff to like because he was so riled when he was doing that movie. So to try and come down and I don't know,
Oh
but
wow.
like yeah, I mean, he like locked himself in a hotel for a month preparing for that role to get into that
Jeez,
fucking and it's
dude.
so good. I mean, and because you desire you when you watch a movie, that's all you can't wait to see him on screen again.
Right, right. You know, it's funny. Let me ask you this: considering everything that he put in to make that character what it was, and for the world to receive that character as it is, and say that this was phenomenal work, right? Like, I don't think no one did it better than that, and no one's done it better afterwards. Done it better before that, and no one's done it better afterwards. But what it cost him, right? Now, as artists, right? You and I both are considered artists, right? We've acted and we're comedians and we write and do whatever else. I mean, that level of commitment to a character, it's not worth your life, right?
Well, I
Even if we
mean,
talk
it
about it
wasn't the
forever.
plan.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, it's just like the idea. Yeah, no, of course not. But you know, you hear about actors talk about like getting so deep into parts that it's hard for them to come out of it, right? Like going to that
Right.
level. I mean, you know, in hindsight, you think maybe Heath Ledger backs off a little bit and is like, you know, maybe I isolate myself in a hotel for a month. Like maybe I go for a good
I mean, but well,
weekend.
then look at what Joaquin Phoenix did, and then he lost all that weight, and he would eat. I read he would eat an apple a day, and that was it. That was his process. And now that's really could be
Well,
dangerous. But they have nutritionists and shit. So I mean, yeah. I mean, the
for
goal was he would be able to bounce back from it, but you
well, you
know,
know, I think too, maybe it's like, do you possess that level of commitment to your artistry that you'd eat an apple a day?
that's tough.
I
That's
mean, think
really I
about
have to be getting paid a
Christian Bale.
lot.
Oh my goodness. Think about Christian Bale and The Machinist, the amount of weight that
Yeah.
he lost. Tom Hanks and Castaway, the
Mhm.
amount of weight he lost. I mean, they're telling stories, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hey.
But I guess,
All right.
someone's gonna
So
give you
what
20 million.
I want to watch. So I watched the Snyder cut of
Okay,
Justice League. You watched it, right?
I did.
Um, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it's fucking long.
4 hours. Okay,
It's too
let's just be
long.
honest.
I'm sorry. It's too long. I
Well,
don't think it's, what's the
it should
point
have
of
been
making it
two,
that
it should
long?
have been two movies, right? Maybe a part one and a part two, right?
Mm-hmm.
They broke it down to 6 sections, I think, while you're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, when I say that it was good, just for everyone out there and in the world, I'm saying that it's good in relation to what the first one was, right? Because when I watched the first one based on that cut, it was so choppy and the characters were so undeveloped and the
Yeah.
storyline was so undeveloped that I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would all these people come together? Like the way they told it, I was like, there was no reason for them all to come together and work with each other in the way that they did for what they were trying to do. So watching the second one, the uncut version, basically what it did was it filled in all the gaps, right? Like the characters were way more defined. The story made way more sense, right? So I was like, oh, it was good because it actually filled in the gaps. But
The
overall, I think
beginning I felt was good for sure.
yeah. You're thinking like toward the
I think
last
it
two.
starts to fizzle in hour three. And I mean, this is what I feel.
That's
I
funny.
feel it went
Okay.
from a C minus to a C plus.
Dang, you couldn't even get a B, Sal.
Yeah, like in the one that was really great. I think the best one was Cyborg came out of the Snyder cut. Like he looked so much cooler. Like you knew
Yes.
more about him and they showed more about him. And you're right, all that development of character was great, but
Yes.
you could
And you
have
understood
gotten
why
to
he
it
was.
quicker. I mean, well, not even the
Yeah.
beginning, the ending. Like I couldn't stand the outfit they put on Steppenwolf. It looks stupid as hell, bro. All that
Okay.
shit
You
on it.
didn't
Look at that in
the
the old one.
silver
I mean,
with the
all
spikes.
that crap on him, and then you had that dong protector or whatever hanging between his
Yeah.
legs. Is stupid.
That's funny. I
And
didn't
then,
I didn't notice the dong protector. I didn't look at his crotch at all.
yeah, well, that's all I stared at. And then there was the dark side. Is just a video CGI Thanos. Really, it's
Right.
just more.
Right.
It's like at least Thanos had what's his name acting him.
Well,
I don't know, dude.
okay.
That whole part was kind of cornball to me.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna say. This is where I think DC made their mistake. The thing about the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that they've done an excellent job over time introducing each character, right?
Right.
And then there's a little overlap where they kind of encounter whoever else the case may be, whatever the case may be. So we got the Iron Man movie, we got the Captain America movie, we got the Thor movie, we got all the Black Panther
before Avengers. You're right. They had a lot of
before Avengers. We had a lot of buildup. But for DC, I mean, we've had Superman movies, but then there've been tons of those, right? And they don't overlap with this. We've had Batman movies, but they're not related to each other.
Right.
Basically, what they did was they tried to go backwards. Like I think what he was doing was he was trying to put everything that would have been in each one of the individual movies into this movie. Right. Cyborg deserved his own movie completely. Right. The Flash deserved his own movie completely. And then you do the same thing that Marvel did, where you have some little overlap at the end where Batman shows up and is like, hey, I'm putting together a team. There's something coming, right?
Right.
But instead of doing that, they try to do it all at one time. And that was the problem. The problem.
And it's just, I don't know, for some reason, it's never as fun. The characters are fun. I don't know what it is. But you're right.
DC
maybe you
characters?
you just don't get, at least in this round.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother round coming now.
I know, another round. I just wish they had just made, like, I personally, I'm a Marvel guy, so I don't really know the DC characters that well, except for obviously Batman and Superman. I know a little bit about Wonder Woman because I grew up watching the Justice League. So what I know about the DC characters is what I know from Justice League. Outside of that, I don't know much about Martian Manhunter, right?
Right.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit about Aquaman.
That shit was corny. I forgot all about that. That shit was
the Martian
corniest part of me.
Yeah. He just came up. He showed up out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, okay, he's in this.
What? Yeah. What?
Yeah. So that's the mistake they made, dude. They needed to do the individual movies and just do it. But they're trying to keep up. That's the problem with trying to keep up with the Joneses. Right. Like, in their effort to try to match what Marvel was doing in the Avengers, they skipped all the steps. And it's like, yo, man, the MCU been going on for 13 years or something crazy.
Right.
Like, building up to this point, and they're like, dude, look at this. All right, put Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and Flash, put them together. Go put out, And then everyone's like, boo.
Speaking of MCU, you're digging the Disney Plus ones. What is it? Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then WandaVision.
Yes, sir. Did you see WandaVision?
Yeah, I saw all of it. It was good. I liked it.
It was good.
Cool. It was different because the amount. You know how many times we've been watching comic book movies now since 2000? They didn't shove this down us throat. So to come up with something original, unique, and in a TV spot, which is a lot tougher than I'd think. Going from movies to TV.
Yeah, I agree. I thought WandaVision was excellent, man. I loved it from the standpoint that I was confused, right? Like from the very beginning when it started, I was like,
I was a little annoyed at first. Everyone gets annoyed at first, but then it definitely picked up.
Right. Like I know one guy who like watched the first episode and was like, I ain't watching this shit.
There's a lot of people do that after the first two. And then once you get to three, then you're like, oh, it's getting good.
Yes, that was it. After the first two, he was like, I'm not watching this shit. And I was like, nah, man, you got to hang in there, dude. I'm like, it's good. And he eventually went back.
Burn. Okay.
It's a slow burn, but it builds up. It's like a train, right? Starts off slow, but once it gets up to speed, we huffing right now. We booking.
And you dig in the other one too, the Winter Soldier?
I am. I love the way the first episode started with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like,
him flying around was sick. Oh, dude, those camera angles are nice.
Yo, it was like the first time that we really got a chance to see what Sam Wilson can do, right?
Right, what he feel, yeah.
Yeah, because prior to that, you kind of go, all right, he's a guy that can fly and he hangs out with Cap and they're cool, but he's not like, he doesn't have any superpowers. He's got a super suit, right? Yeah. But this showed like a true skill level, right? Like what he's able to do. And I love the fact that I love that we're getting to see some of the backstory or the background with Winter Soldier, right? With Bucky Barnes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gotten to see a little bit in the movies, but like to see him in action, the dude is like, when he was Winter Soldier, the dude was like a friggin' machine. I had
He
one
looks a
friend
lot
call him,
smaller now.
yeah,
He
he's lost some
slimmed
weight.
down or something.
Yeah, he slimmed down. But my buddy described him, because I was telling him, I was like, yo, this dude's like a, before he was just like a killing machine. He was like, yo, like a Terminator. And in a way you kind of go, yeah, like a Terminator, come in with a specific mission and nothing is going to deter him, as far as like, he's not going to have a moment of like, in that one scene where he's trying to make amends. I don't want to give away anything for people who may have not seen it, but the one scene where he's trying to make amends with the old guy because of whatever happened.
Yeah.
Like in that moment, that's a moment where you kind of like, you can have a real human moment where you're looking at a person, but in that scene, there's no human moment. It's like, it's straight up.
That's why he just has that arm. That arm isn't as.
Yeah. He just got
it's okay. Did you see the second episode where the cops?
Yes. Yeah, I saw
that
the
was
second
crazy.
episode.
I mean, it's crazy. It's great. I love how people will comment on issues in society now, in even a comic book movie or show.
Wait, with you say with the cops?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
In New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Yeah. It makes you a little comfortable for a second. And you're like, oh, fuck, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. And that's one of those things I like about Marvel too, is that they're willing to kind of address some of those things.
It also helps they're in the real world. Like, they have real cities.
Yes, they're in the real world. Yeah, Metropolis, Gotham City.
Yeah, I mean Gotham's classic.
Well, except for who else? Yeah,
well, Amazonia doesn't exist, Reg.
No, it doesn't exist. Atlantis
doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. You're right. What's funny is I never really thought. I thought about that, but not hardcore. But I think that's one of the things that makes Marvel better in that regard, right? Because
it helps. It totally helps.
It helps. Luke Cage is in Harlem. Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Daredevil's in Hell's Kitchen.
That whole area. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I'm enjoying both of them. I can't wait to. Oh, we get the new one. We get episode 3 right tonight. Winter Soldier and the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
If you want to see, I was gonna tell you a comic book to see with Batman versus Superman is a Frank Miller comic book that he made, and that's what the movie was slightly based off of. And then it gives you more of a perspective of how Batman could actually compete with Superman. But it's very similar, using kryptonite or whatever.
Right. Well, he's got to use a weakness. Outside of that, he doesn't.
Well, it's so weird. You got this guy who could do everything. So
yeah. I mean, Superman is in all intents and purposes. I mean, he's an alien, but he's a god. Right. He's a god on this planet. There's nothing that he can't do. Now he can't create things like, gods obviously are supposed to be able to create life and whatever else maybe. But this dude on Earth with the yellow sun, yo man, you can't do nothing to Superman except for this one thing. You find kryptonite, a green thing, little green glowing green thing, and then it's like, oh, he's mortal. Right. So if Batman doesn't have any kryptonite, it's a wrap. I don't care how much armor, right? Gadgets. I don't care what he's throwing. Boomerangs, batarangs, whatever. That's it. Bing, bing, bing.
I do like that in Justice. I mean, they do show that aspect of how much stronger Superman is, which is kind of funny.
Dude, Superman is ridiculous. And he's a Boy Scout too. People love that.
Yeah, him and Captain America. Dorks.
Yeah. Dorks. Yo, you watch The Boys on
I watched
Amazon
the
Prime
season. I was all right. I wasn't as into it, dude.
Really?
You know what I liked better was Umbrella Academy.
Oh, I love the Umbrella Academy. That was good.
That was good.
Yeah, I really like that one a lot. I thought I liked The Boys. I didn't think The Boys was bad. The thing I liked about The Boys was I like this idea that there are superheroes who are kind of a bit unscrupulous, right? The villains and the good guys are kind of they're the same almost to some degree. You know what I mean?
Lines are blurred. Yeah.
The lines.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got bored with the characters for some reason in that.
Even the guy who was upset with all the soups. Gotta get this.
Yeah, those guys really bore me. Are the ones trying to get them.
Yeah. Well, think about it. In season 1, I mean, my man spends the whole season like, fuck the soups. The
Right.
soups. Where are the soups? We're gonna get some soups. Let's go kill a soup. Hey, I see a soup. Were you hanging out with a soup? Fuck
Soup.
soups. Who likes soups? And one guy's like, you say soup? I'm hungry. You want some soup? He's like, no, soups. He's like, soup or soup? Dude, I'm hungry as hell. You keep talking about soup. I'm not talking about soup. I'm talking about soups.
Dude.
It's just, I'm silly. So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm burnt out. But
okay.
All right. So what do you
Okay.
think? This is a good first episode. You feel good, man?
I do, man. I do. I mean,
Good, buddy.
we're 12 after all of our technical difficulties to start off.
Maybe we should get Lil Nas X to do our song. Tweet at him maybe and get a little intro song.
That would be
dedicated half the episode to him.
Yeah, really. I mean, we won't put all that in. I mean, but it was a Lil Nas X, and then it kind of morphed into religion and
it's important to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
Maybe see what Red does. Ask J Red. Ask him if he got a beat that he could donate.
Yo, if Lil Nas X does it over J Red, all right, I'm gonna take Lil Nas.
Are you gonna really reach out to Lil Nas X for like, hey, my friend and I are doing a podcast?
See it.
Hey, Lil Nas X. First off, I just want to say I'm glad. Congratulations on being okay with being gay.
Blood shoes.
And the blood shoes. I really appreciate it. But I was wondering, my friend and I are doing a podcast, and we want to know if you do a little intro for us.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. What's wrong with that?
Dude, I think we should reach out to the guy and the boys and have him do. This is Spitballin with Sal Kalani and Reggie Steele. And I'll tell you one thing that won't be there. There's no fucking soups. No.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm gonna
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next. Okay.
Next
Thanks
week.
for listening, everybody.